Hey, LeBron, you got 4 rings. Why don't you tell us your thoughts on rings culture? Take a listen.
It's funny, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the A-all, B-all of everything. You sit here and tell me, you know, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, you know, our wasn't unbelievable. Like, oh, they can't be talked about or discussed with these guys just because this guy won 1 ring or won 2 rings or won, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has 1 ring. They don't never discuss that in their sport.
Right.
Or telling me that Dan Marino is not the greatest slinger of all time, or he can't be in the room with those guys because he didn't win a championship. They don't discuss those things.
Once again, if he had enough rings to be considered the greatest, it would be okay. This is a typical LeBron. He doesn't feel like he's going to get there, and that's going to be held against him, so now he's going to downplay the ring. If it wasn't about that, LeBron, and if Steve Nash had any kind of...
Stop expecting him to...
Okay? No, if he had anything, then I would have said, LeBron, why did you leave Cleveland and go to Miami? Chasing rings.
Cleveland!
You're the one who did it. You're the one who ran away. You're the one who put together a super team so that you could win rings. You were the one who were afraid not to win a championship. As great as you were as a player.
Not 2, not 3.
That's right.
Not 4.
Now he's saying,
not
listen
5,
to this.
Not 6.
Is he talking
not
about
7.
being a great
and
player?
when I say that,
He's
I
talking
really
about
believe it.
winning rings because that's what he wanted to win. Such a phony. I'm so tired of hearing this. On one hand, he's talking about, I don't know why we're talking about rings or whatever. He's the one. Kelvin, that wasn't somebody imitating him. He's the one talking up about 7 rings. He's the one who left Cleveland, his hometown, and went to go chase rings in Miami. He's the one who keeps leaving, who came to L.A. to chase rings. Because he looked at Michael Jordan. And if you look at Michael Jordan's career and you think it's just about rings, you're mistaken. Michael Jordan was a great player, led the league in scoring 10 times. I could go over and over the all-time leading scorer in the postseason. It was more than just the 6 rings. This whole notion. And if Steve Nash had anything, he could have said, you know, LeBron, Peyton did win 2 championships. Well, Peyton only got 1.
Yeah,
they don't even know.
He forgot that Denver one.
Exactly. But my point is, this is total garbage on LeBron's point. What on part? The only reason if LeBron had 8 or 10 rings, you think he would be talking about the number of rings people counting? Of course he would not. Such a phony. I'm so tired of hearing guys make an excuse when it doesn't fit their narrative. He has to be able to talk about longevity and all this other stuff to be able to be considered great. It's not that you have to win a ring to be great, okay? You can be a great player. I'll sit here and tell you Charles Barkley was a great player. Steve Nash won 2 MVPs. No one's going to say he wasn't a great player in the NBA. But when you talk about the greatest of all time, I don't know of anybody who's the greatest of anything who didn't win at some point in their life. Dan Marino was a quarterback. I'm going to sit here and tell you he's the best quarterback ever and he never won? Come on, man. Nobody. How many times do I have to bring up Marv Levy? He went to 4 straight Super Bowls
Not
as a
2,
coach.
Not 3.
4. Not one time have I ever heard anybody say Marv Levy's the greatest coach in NFL history. You know why? Because he didn't win. That's why we keep score. That's why we hand out trophies. It does matter. Stop trying to say that winning doesn't matter. It does matter when you're talking about putting somebody ahead of everybody and saying they're the greatest that ever did something.
People have gotten lazy, Rob, and make it the end-all, be-all.
I disagree. I think it fits people's narrative. If LeBron was 10-0 in the finals, there's no way he'd sit here and tell you about rings. The reason that Wilt Chamberlain never really got the credit that he deserves and broke all the records is because he didn't win enough. Not that he didn't win enough to dominate as much as he did. People thought he should have won more, and that's what hurt him. When you're talking about the greatest, this is not a conversation of whether somebody's good. Nobody's going to question whether Charles Barkley was a great player or Steve Nash has 2 MVPs. It's about the greatest of all time.
But that wasn't the conversation,
No,
though.
that is the conversation.
No, because I'm agreeing. What I'm saying is
that's the only time that you take everything into consideration and you nitpick when you want to crown somebody
But I
as
agree
the
with
greatest.
that. But I think what I
but
think
it's
was
not
but,
about
but I
just-
think
but
the
it's not
ring
just-
culture.
Nah, it's not just.
But see,
that's
Rob,
the only thing that matters because that's not true.
What's up, y'all? Thank you for checking in with my channel. LeBron James is pushing back on the NBA's obsession with championship rings. On his podcast, Mind the Game with Steve Nash, LeBron questioned why team titles are often the only measure of individual greatness. You mean to tell me Charles Barkley wasn't great? Allen Iverson wasn't great? Steve Nash wasn't great? He asked. James argued that basketball is a team sport and rings are a collective achievement, not something that should define a player's legacy on their own. With 4 rings of his own, LeBron knows the grind. But he's making the point that greatness is about consistency, leadership, and the impact a player has on and off the court. It's clear this conversation hits close to home, especially with constant comparisons to Michael Jordan, who has 6 championships. LeBron isn't denying MJ's legacy. He's just saying rings alone shouldn't be the final word on a player's greatness. Please consider subscribing. Let me know what y'all think about this. Leave a comment and also like this video. See y'all in the next video.